Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. And if you're new here, welcome. If you like content that involve Olympiad style question, this is what this channel is about, as well as other mathematics questions. So for this particular question, when you look at the question, which I'm going to read now, a jet flew between two towns. The first half of the distance between the towns is traveled at a constant speed of 600 miles per hour. And the second half is traveled at a constant speed of 900 miles per hour. Solve the average speed of the jet. So what we're asked here, the question teaches us that we have two halves, right? We have a first half between the towns, and we have a second half. Now, the first half moves at a constant speed of 600 miles per hour, and the second moves at a constant speed of 900 miles per hour, and we're asked to find the average speed. So I want to first of all correct a common misconception. Average speed is different from just speed. People just imagine, oh, speed. Well, if we're asked to find the average speed, what they're asking us to do is to just find speed, right? So speed is equal to distance over time. But that's not how you're supposed to solve that. You're not supposed to solve average speed with this formula. Instead, average speed formula is the total distance divided by total time. So this is what you have. So the thing you have to do is you have to separate, focusing on the first half on one side of this page. Like you can see, I drew a line, and you focus on the second half on the second side. So you have the constant speed of the first half, right? The speed here is 600 miles per hour. And so this is the first half. So the second half here, you have the speed equals to 900 miles per hour. So therefore, what you eventually have is, we're going to first of all make the distance, right? Let's total distance equals x, because since we're solving for average speed, there has to be a concept of total distance, and there also has to be a concept of total time. So therefore, the first half of the distance traveled is going to be 1/2 of the total distance, which is x. So what you end up having is 1/2 x. That's that one. And that 1/2 x is actually going to be equals to the distance. So remember, speed equals distance on the time, and we have our speed to be what? We have our speed to be 600 miles per hour, and we have our distance to be 1/2x. So therefore, we end up with speed. So S here, so speed equals distance over time is going to be the same thing as 600 miles per hour equals distance, which is 1/2 x, which is basically distance, so 1/2 x mile, and then t as in time. That's it. So basically, we just have 600 equals 1/2 x over t. So that's that one. And on the other side, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to let the total distance equals x. So that would be the second half is just going to be the same thing, 1/2 x equals d. So speed equals distance over time. That's going to be, speed here is 900 miles per hour equals 1/2 x miles over time. So that will be 900 equals 1 over 2x over time. So that's what you do here. You sure you have this and have this. So we're going to go to the next page and continue solving. We know that one side is 600 equals x over 2, since it's 1/2 x over t. And on the other side, we have 900 equals x over 2 over t. So now we're going to try to make t the subject of formula. So we're going to try and isolate t. So we end up with 600t equals x over 2. Hence, we can try to isolate t further by saying t equals x over 2, right, multiplied by 1 over 600, which is the same thing as t equals x over 1200. So that's this side. That's the time for this. That's the time it takes for the first half. That's the time it takes in order for us to isolate the first half, because we already have the actual speed. We already have the distance by just using our intellect from understanding of what problem. Now we're going to manipulate the values that we have in order for us to find time. So that's what we did on the first half. So proceeding to the second half, we have 900t equals x over 2. So therefore, when we isolate t, we have x over 2, right, multiplied by 1 over 900. So that would be x over 1,800. Sorry, not x over. Yeah, x over. And that's going to also be equal to t. So the first time is this. That's the first time. The second time is this. So that's for the first half. And then the second half, it takes us this amount of time, right? The next thing that you do from here is, since you have both values, we said that average speed is the same thing as total distance, okay, over total time. So average speed is equals to total distance over total time. So that's going to be average speed, which we know that to be what we're looking for. So I'm just going to put S-AV or S-AVE. So it's not save, but like S-A-V-E. So that one. So total distance. Remember what the total distance we said that has to be X. So yeah, the total distance is X, right? That's that divided by total time, and we have total time to be this first time plus the second time. So we're going to end up with x over 1,200, okay, plus x over 1,800. So this is now going to be x equals, and you're going to have this 2 here. So one way that we can do this instead of is for us to be able to find the least common multiple. I don't want to go through that process. I'm going to do another process that is common, a little bit more complicated, but I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom of this one by 1,800, okay, and multiply the top and the bottom of this one by 1,200. When I do that, everything is balanced. So we end up with 1,800 multiplied by 1,200, okay? And then you have 1,800 here, 1,800x plus 1,200x. So you have x, so the distance divided by 1,800 plus 1,200 is the same thing as 3,000 x, and divided by 1,800 multiplied by 1,200. We don't have to do the whole thing. We can just use our knowledge of math by canceling out the zeros. So you have this cancel out. use a different color. This cancel out 2 zeros, cancel out 2 zeros. This one cancels out 1 zero, this one cancels out 1 zeros. 3 here, 1, 3 here, 6. Yeah, so that would be x divided by x over, that would be 6 times 12 is, so 12 times 5 is 60, 6 times 12 is 72, so 720. And we can go forward by doing this. So we have x divided by x over 720 is the same thing as x multiplied by 720, okay, divided by x. So we can easily cancel out the x, and what we end up with is 720. So hence our average speed, not save, our average speed is going to be 720, not just 720, our average speed is going to be 720 miles per hour. So this is how you solve for it. We had a question where we were not necessarily given the actual value of anything, or we're just given, we're not actually given the actual value of every single thing. We're given the value of the constant speed and for one half of the trip, and the constant speed for the second half of the trip. But we were given basically almost like a mental math word problem of what the distance had to be. And when we knew that, we're able to solve for the time. So I separated this page just so you understand both sides. When we separated that, we're able to isolate for the first half of the trip and the second half of the trip. We can see that since it's the same distance that was traveled but different speeds, hence we have to have different times, because the only thing that is constant is the distance traveled, but the speed isn't. So if the speed is faster for the same distance, that means we got there in lesser time, right? So that's how you can think about it. That's how you know. And I also wanted to mention that people would make this mistake that, oh, we were asked, they already gave us the first half of the trip speed and the second half of the trip speed. So what is going on? So some students will say 600 miles per hour, right? Plus 900 miles per hour divided by 2. And that's going to be 600 plus 900. That's 1500 miles per hour. And 2. So that will be 750 miles per hour. That's very wrong, because even though we're looking for average speed, we have two different speeds. Hence, they traveled at two different times, and we cannot have the same average speed. So this is a question that is fairly easy, but if you underthink it or you don't think enough about it, you're going to fail it straight up. But if you think about it and think through it, you're going to be able to solve the answer easier. So this is just this. Hopefully my explanation and my detailed way of teaching helps you. And if you enjoyed this detailed way of speaking and this in-depth solution, just know that this is how I teach on my channel. I've been doing a couple of Olympiad questions as well as SAT questions, calculus. So make sure you check out the playlist and make sure you check out the description box for other videos that may be of help, as well as a brief explanation and some tips and tricks. So hopefully the tips that I shared in this video has been very helpful. Make sure you go on to watch the continuous series for Olympiad style questions. And if you didn't come for an Olympiad style question, you just came to learn, I'm happy. I wish you guys all the very best, and I hope you find the content on my channel really good. If you like this video, please make sure you hit the like button, and if you choose to subscribe, please, I would like you to do so. Make sure you click on the notification bell. I wish you guys all the very best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.